Okay, time for a more positive and maybe more conversational Montreal Canadiens-based video. Earlier today it was announced that the Canadiens have agreed to an extension for 3 years with goaltender Samuel Montembeault. Now I wanted to open this video up by saying I am so gosh darn happy for this guy. 3 years, $3.15 million a season for Montembeault. It is a $9.45 million contract. Go out there and get that bag, Sammy baby, because this is a very legit goaltender who deserves the praise. Montembeault, as we have been talking about in the past few videos, has been pretty much the best goalie on the Montreal Canadiens. He leads the team in save percentage, he has the best goals against by far, and when it comes to the way these guys play, when you watch them, when you see them, when you witness the caliber of athleticism each of them are able to provide, how they track the puck, how they make the saves, Montembeault has been the best one. And it's been kind of like this for the past little while. We've been seeing the 3-goalie rotation make itself known. Montembeault, of course, 10 games. Allen has had 9 games. Cayden Primeau has had 5. So seeing each of these guys rotate in and around the lineup, you could clearly see who is more dialed in, who is just better, and who can make more saves than the other. Montembeault has been that guy. So to see him earn what is essentially a big boy contract for the first time in his career, that's well deserved, man. The guy's 27 years old, so going out there and finally getting that bag, good for him. Let's go over onto the Montreal Canadiens website because they did have themselves a few words to share on Montembeault. Montreal Canadiens GM Kent Hughes announced Friday the team has agreed to terms on a 3-year contract extension from 24-25 to 26-27 with goaltender Samuel Montembeault. The deal will pay him an AAV of $3.15 million a year. Montembeault, 27, has played 10 games with the Habs, posting a 5-3-1 record to go along with his .273 goals against and .910 save percentage. The Bécancour, Quebec native is currently playing in his 3rd season with the Canadiens and 5th of his NHL career. Montembeault, who was selected in the 3rd round of the 2015 draft by Florida, has taken part in 113 career NHL games with the Habs and the Panthers. He has recorded 38 wins since making his NHL debut in 2018-19. Montembeault won the gold medal with Team Canada, and then he also joined the Canadiens after being claimed off waivers in 2021. Amazing how things work, isn't it? Like, 2 years ago, I was in Metrotown in Burnaby, one of the bigger malls here in Canada, making a vlog talking about how Samuel Montembeault got claimed by the Canadiens. Let's see if we could find it, actually. Yeah, here it is. So this is the video that I made literally 2 years ago. Look at my cute little mug with a mask on in the mall. That was a while ago, so interesting to see how things go from that, a standard innocent old waiver claim, to now being a legit NHL goaltender who has earned himself a $10 million contract. It's technically 9 point whatever, but let's just say 10. Round it up to give him the total dollar amount. But either way, when it comes to the Sammy Montembeault contract, what I also wanted to talk about in this video was how this affects the trade conversation. Because if you take a look at the Canadiens goaltenders and you take a look at the need to free themselves from this 3-goaltender rotation they have, there is a very clear odd man out that is now in the spotlight. Let's talk about Jake Allen. Because when it comes to each of these 3 guys, Montembeault has been the best one. Yes, he earned the contract extension. He is going to be with the Canadiens for the next 3 years. Jake Allen is also in the mix, and he's been pretty okay. He can't seal a post to save his life, but this is a guy who has gone out there as a consistent NHL caliber backup who could take over starting duties once in a while. Cayden Primeau, however, has been bad. Okay, bad might be a little bit hyperbolic, but you get what I mean. Cayden Primeau has had a few games here and there where the save percentages, the numbers, they don't look great, but he still ends up making 30-plus saves on the night. It's a weird defensive situation with the Montreal Canadiens and a lot of these goaltenders, and as a result, if you wanted to talk about moving on from the 3-goalie rotation, Jake Allen seems to be the odd man out. Let's go out there on a Postmate on the Habs sub to discuss this entire idea. One of the goalies besides Montembeault needs to be traded ASAP. This was published literally yesterday, and I mean, look, it says this. The 3-year goalie rotation is getting ridiculous. No one can play back-to-back games and get in a groove. I think they should re-sign Monty to a 3-year deal and trade whoever brings back the most value between Allen and Primo. Co hasn't shown anything at the NHL level so far, but he is still young and Allen brings leadership and he's a proven NHL player. That is really interesting because yesterday this dude called the 3-year deal for Montembeault. I think they should sign Montembeault through a 3-year deal, and then they do it. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? Here is the first comment. Jake Allen is the odd one out. He's older, he has more appealing market value due to experience, and Primo's value is so low. It's more worthwhile to gamble on him than to get a 3rd or a 4th round pick for him or lose him on waivers. The reply here says that nobody has much cap space for Jake Allen, though. The Habs can retain salary. The issue, though, with that is that we only have 1 retention spot left for the season. If we retain on Allen, we cannot retain another player this year. There is a calculus, then, that is needed to determine whom we should use the retention on. Proper grammar, I like that. Using the whom instead of the who. Do we profit on draft capital by using the retention spot on Allen, who likely returns a 4th or a 3rd if we retain? Or should we use it on somebody else, like Monahan, who may return a 1st round pick if we retain? I suspect that this is why we haven't traded a goalie yet. We'd rather keep the 2 younger goalies and move Allen, but we don't want to waste the retention spot on Allen because we'd rather maximize the return by using the retention on Monahan or someone like Anderson or Dvorak, who would give us a greater return and get some of their salary off the books for more than just this year. That's a great answer, to be honest. Yeah, well written. I'm going to upvote that. Very well written. This other reply says that I'd say that Caden Primo has more value. Yes, it's probably just a 5th or a 6th round pick for Primo, which would be better than the 7th round pick that the Habs used for him, but Allen's contract is so hefty for what he brings. We probably need to throw in a sweetener for him. Though a playoff caliber team would probably like Allen better because of the experience, but it's still too much money for an average second goalie. Probably the biggest mistake for Hugo's tenure so far. And here's the thing about that. Jake Allen, as we had said, has had such a good track record in the NHL from his days in St. Louis to what he was doing with the Canadiens, even when he was the backup behind Carey Price. He was one of the better backups in the NHL. Like, he kind of torched that North Division with Montreal back in 2020-2021. Now, I know you could say, oh, 907 save percentage. It's not like he necessarily torched the league, but he was coming off a 927 with the Blues the year before and a 935 in the postseason. A 935. That's a really good gosh darn number, taking over when Jordan Binnington was going through his woes. I remember this because that series was literally against the Vancouver Canucks. Here's another reply that I thought was interesting to read. I'm sorry to tell you this, but Montembeault is the only one of our goalies to have any trade value, and it isn't much. Then there are a few extra replies asking as to whether or not Allen has some value, Primo has some value. You'd probably say that Primo, based off of what he has done so far, you could capitalize on the potential. You could say that because he's younger, because he's got more to show, there is some value here for Primo, but when it comes to which goalie actually makes your team better in a trade acquisition, Jake Allen is the guy. He just needs to be salary retained or sent over to a team that has enough cap to manage him, because certainly his dollar amount, $3.85 million AAV, is not cheap. Now, for Montembeault, of course, he's making 3.1 now, so good on him for getting up to that pay grade. But at the same time, Samuel Montembeault has been the best goalie on the Canadiens, and he earned this contract extension because of it. They're not going to sign him and then trade him away right away, especially after the feel-good development story that they exhibited with him right now. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Samuel Montembeault getting the contract extension that he did? 3 years long, $3.15 million per season for Montembeault until 2026-2027. What does this mean for Jake Allen? Is he the odd man out? Is he the guy who is going to get traded next? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.